Well, hey, you are watching the video version of the Marketing Should Be Fun podcast. It's so good to have you here. You can find this show on any of your favorite podcast platforms. There's the art, looks like that. You got Apple Podcasts, you got Spotify, you got all the rest. Anywhere you want to find it, you can check it out. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Well, welcome back to Marketing Should Be Fun. My name's Austin Savage. I'm here with my friend and business partner, Kelsey Zarko, and we are so glad that you're here. Kelsey, hello. Welcome back to the show. All of the
Thank you. I'm excited for another episode.
Always the most exciting part of our job right here. But
For sure.
I've got a super easy, literally probably the easiest this or that ever in the world.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Free lunch or free dessert?
Meaning like $0 or like free calories? What are you talking about?
$0. Like if somebody's going to give you a gift card, would you rather it be a gift card for free lunch or free dessert?
Free lunch, hands down.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's more expensive than free dessert.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Isn't some common math here, but I'm actually not, I love dessert. I'll probably never say no to it, but I'm always more savory than sweet if I pick. So that also goes into the lunch pick right there.
All right. If you could get your pick right now today of any free lunch, where would you pick?
Okay. So there's this restaurant here in Texas called Salada. It's literally like a glorified, like even fancier than Chipotle, but that type of like where you walk through and tell them what you want. And it's all salad things. So I'm not talking about like a little salad with a tomato on it. It's like the best, like edamame and like bacon and hard-boiled eggs and the best dressing. So that's what I would pick. Didn't even have to think about it.
That's awesome. I love it. I have no idea what I would pick. Well, I'd pick the free lunch, but as far as the restaurant, I don't know. Right at this moment, Chipotle sounds pretty good, but I feel like that's a cop-out answer. So
that's all right. You can steal it. We had that on Friday and it was delish with an extra scoop of guac every time.
It is. It's good. It's consistent, you know? So
yeah. You caught me on a good day to ask about this and I said salad because lately, this is going to sound like I'm pregnant, but I'm not. I've been craving hot dogs all the time. I think it's summer. I'm just like, I just want to grill a hot dog. And my husband is like, why are you weird? I'm like, I don't know. I just want a hot dog. So today it's salad and we're going to go with that.
That is awesome. We have this really good fried chicken place right down the street from us called Rick's Crispy Chicken. Really good.
I've never heard of that.
I know. And we're getting ready to move. And we just had it last night because we were like, we got to do one last hurrah, get some Rick's Crispy Chicken. So it was good.
Love it. Hot dog, salad, fried chicken, and covered it all.
It covered it all. All right. Moving from free lunches to marketing, which
just quick segue there. No big deal.
Always. Anyways, today we wanted to record a kind of a shorter episode, but just wanted to talk about relationship building and ultimately just kind of, share a quick reminder that that's what business is about, honestly, is it's the opportunity to build relationships. And ultimately, it's kind of this big circle, right? Like these relationships that you're building are what are going to lead to business success. And I think business success leads to more relationships, which then feeds the business, which feeds the relationships. It's like this constant kind of circle of connection. Yeah. And so I wanted to throw a question your way, Kelsey, and just generally have you share, like, how have you seen relationships lead to business success, whether it's related to our content marketing agency or, past social media business, like any stuff that you have done? How have you seen relationships affect those?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is a sentence that I read and have heard a long time ago, but it's this idea that when we buy from people or make a decision to, not everything transactional is that you're buying something, but typically there's some sort of transaction happening. Yeah. And it's the idea that I am more likely to create that transaction with you if I have this moment where I think I'm like you, you are like me.
Yeah.
Therefore, I trust you and I want to connect with you. That doesn't mean that we have to like exist in this group think space of like, we're all the same, but those little, like they seem like silly things, but those little touches of like sharing your favorite food or, giving a behind the scenes, like look into your life. Those are those little touches that make people do that. And so then they come to you and want to do business with you or connect with you in whatever avenue you've invited them into. So that I am like you are like me thing has been really big for me in my past businesses, and even like just seeing our clients experience that too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think of like when I started this business, it was like the immediate people who wanted to start working with us
Yeah.
were the people that I knew, like were people that I've, built completely separate from anything transactional. Like it's just like, people who were connected to me. And then it's like, people who see what I'm doing and, want to like learn more or feel like, they found value in, this thing that I shared. And it's really interesting. I mean, like uh, this is random, but we signed one client who I asked him, I was like, what is like the reason that you wanted to work with us? And he was like, I saw this post that you made about this conference that you went to or whatever. And at the time I looked back and that was like a year and a half before, he had signed anything with us, and he had seen that and he started to build like respect and interest with us. And, eventually a year and a half later, that led to him doing business with us. And so I thought that was really cool, but I think it's very easy to lose sight of that. Like whether it doesn't matter how you're building a relationship with somebody. It can be from you sharing a story about your favorite food, and they're like, "Oh, this like seems cool," or "I didn't know
like
that recipe."
Hot dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I could go for a hot dog right now. We have actually been making a lot more of those lately with it being grilling season. It's so good.
Exactly.
But nothing better than a nice cold beer and a open grill. That's what I like to say. So
you really have been listening to country music today. Wow. Okay.
It's got me in the mood for that, but it's like 60 degrees here too, just like it is in Texas. So, now I lost my train of thought. 1 second.
I actually was going to follow up with that and say, I think that's an important concept to remember paired with relationship building, is that it also takes time. I mean, you said that person had seen a post from you over a year ago. That's why content marketing is so important, is because it gives you layer upon layer upon layer of not only content, but just chances to build relationships. That's why when we create content, we don't just say, hey, we're only going to talk about your services. We talk about so much more than that, because we want people to understand who you are as a brand, the person behind the brand, like the faces that are there. They want to build that relationship, and that takes time, but then it pays off. So that's really cool that you got to see that connection that was made there.
Totally. Yeah. I think like content marketing is relationship building at scale in a lot of ways. Like it's the, rather than being limited on how many one-on-one meetings you can have, right? You're able to give value to a limitless number of people. And that's how it's working, right? That's like the reason that content marketing matters in the long run is, we can talk about adding value to people's lives, building trust, all of that stuff. And at the end of the day, what that accomplishes is relationships with people. And so, but I do see like a lot of business owners or entrepreneurs, nonprofit leaders, whatever, they are kind of looking for that silver bullet that's outside of relationship building. They're like, maybe there's this like special campaign we can do, or, specific copy we can add to our website, or, this, like these different initiatives. And they are kind of like distracting from the core thing. And I think the core thing for any organization is the relationships that you have now and the relationships that you need to have in the future, and really focusing on building those connections. And so honestly, I mean, that's the encouragement that I want to provide is just today for you, like whatever you lead, even if it's just your team or if it's, an organization or like a large business, whatever, that like don't get distracted from the main thing. The main thing is building relationships, and that can be just as valuable for you meeting with someone in a coffee shop and talking about a potential business deal or just getting to know them. But it also could mean sharing funny videos from your team on the internet, or providing value to people's lives that will ultimately lead to new connections. So any final thoughts for this quick little episode here, Kelsey, about relationship building?
Yeah, I would say, especially because we talk here about content marketing, that's kind of our wheelhouse. There's so many ways, you mentioned it's fine to meet in person. Like those are great things. But if you're specifically talking about the lens of your blog or your social media or your podcast, don't stress so much. Like be a real human and don't try to edit yourself. That's like the number one thing I would say. This can come out in so many ways. It could come out in, hey, today, instead of talking about this product, I'm going to hop on here and, talk on my Instagram stories about here's what I'm making for lunch, or here's what my kids are doing today, or like, I'm going to show you my
Mhm.
messy house behind my computer, like little things like that. Or it could come out on your blog post of, instead of, doing a more formal topic, those are important too, but maybe you figure out how you could share your story of why you came here, or something
Yeah.
that just is humanizing to people. But all of those things are rooted in the idea of stop being so afraid to let people see the real you and actually
Mhm.
show the real you, because you can't build a relationship unless you know somebody. And the more they get to know you, the more they can build that with you.
Yeah. We've talked about this in previous episodes, but we like to hide ourselves behind our
Yeah.
service or our brand rather than leading with ourselves to build our service or our brand.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had to work even with clients about, like making that shift and slowly building the confidence to lead with themselves so that
Yeah.
people are building relationships with them, not just feeling like they're being sold to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a big piece here is, when it comes to, you have this dream to build your brand, and you can't try to do that outside of that human connection piece. Like it doesn't work in the same way.
Yeah.
Like I've had people, ask me that they're like, what, like, how did you like land this client, or like, how did you do this? And I'm like, either me or Kelsey just knew them somehow, or we
Yeah.
talked to them and, like figured out that we liked each other and then, started doing business.
Yes.
Like it's nothing fancy. It's not like we,
Yep.
did this specific cold call or cold email or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
it's
doesn't
just
honestly work anymore most of the time.
exactly.
People want to know the people they do life with. It just comes
Yeah.
down to that.
And so I think it is shifting that perspective of being comfortable with the organic
Mm-hmm.
nature of business. And you can do that strategically. Like, that doesn't have to mean that you're just sitting around waiting for things to happen. It's that you are intentionally building relationships. All right. Well, we hope that gives you some thoughts for building your business or your brand. And we look forward to seeing you right back here for the next episode.